But before she does, we have two young people who would like to invite forward to tell us what this conference really means to them. So I'd invite Amy Colgan and Andrew Cosgrave to come forward. Andrew, you can come up as well.
Just move this down a little bit. I'm not as tall as other people. First, I'd just like to apologise in advance because half of my lines are stolen already. So, but my name's Amy Colgan. I'm 17 and I'm from Dublin. Last year, I was afforded the incredible opportunity to attend Trocaire's Climate Change Challenge, which was this amazing 3-day-long workshop essentially on climate change. That's really inspired me to become a lot more active on the fight for climate justice. I also attend a weekly youth group run by Eco UNESCO, which is really facilitating me to continue with that activism. I'm concerned about climate change because it's an issue that affects everyone. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest issue that the world has ever faced. And it's kind of fallen on my generation to answer that challenge. And I think that's why young people are so willing to put in so much work to fight for climate justice. It's something that we understand. As the youth, the majority of our lives haven't been lived yet. And when we use the term resource, we use it almost exclusively for things like oil and gas and coal. But for the youth, our most valuable resource is our future. And we will fight with everything that we have to protect it. I've heard it said that there have never been more young people alive in the world than there are today. Most of us understand the concept of peak oil. Well, currently we're at peak youth. And each and every one of us demand that climate change be resolved now, before it takes away any more of our futures. But climate change is not an issue that can be resolved by any one people alone. It requires diversity, because it is a diverse and complex issue. We need to think differently if we are going to act differently to create the positive change that we need. So diversity is our strength, and it's what unifies us in this struggle. And this is why this conference is so important to me. Here, in this room, we have people of science, of faith, global leaders, community activists, academics, and the general public, as well as young people, which is something that's really exciting for me because it's not often that we get invited to these conversations. That we have so many different types of people willing to come together about one issue, people who could be so easily defined by our differences, yet we choose to be unified by a single commonality, is something that really inspires me. There is a lot being done in the world to address the issue of climate change. Not enough, I would argue, but a lot. And on many different fronts. But it's being done in bits and pieces. And the 3 pillars, social, economical, and political, they're not connecting. Ideally, they'd be supporting each other, but at the moment, they're reluctantly cooperating. I would think that we would want to resolve climate change for the benefit of everyone, not just a few. And if we hope to do that, we must have equal representation of all the parties affected. That's why today is different, because here we're starting as we mean to go on. Here, in this room, we have exactly what it takes to defeat climate change. We have that diversity that we need. I expect that if we all do our jobs right, not only will we be thinking differently by tomorrow evening, but we will also be ready to act differently. We will have learned from each other, and we will be ready to put in practice what we've learned and act differently to create that positive change that we need to win this. Thank you.